The Raven's heir. Soon as one of them's caught, another one takes his place. Hey, Harold, have you read this? Harold? 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 You hear me? This is no time for fun and games.
Shh! Calm down. I'm a copper. We're on the same side.
A copper? What are you doing here? And where's Harold?
Harold? Well, there's another guard back there unconscious. That's probably him. The Eye of the Sphinx. Where is it?
It's there.
Oh, good. Then he hasn't got it yet.
You mean the Raven's heir?
Shh! Turn it off. He's gonna steal the eye.
But how do you know?
Doesn't matter. All that matters is that we catch him. Do you understand?
Yeah, but...
Do you understand? You and me, mate. We'll be heroes. All right, now, we just have to...
What?
Halt! Stop! You're under arrest!
Hands up!
I don't have time to play. I'm on duty.
You're funny, but you don't look like a real cop. You don't even have a revolver.
Why do you need the gun?
It's the Raven. He was gunned down, so now I need a pistol.
Dead birds don't need guns. Nor do live ones.
You don't know who the Raven is, do you? He's the greatest burglar ever. He stole paintings from the Louvre, and those priceless eggs with gold and diamonds and stuff. And Bobby Dobbs says he replaced the crown jewels with rhinestones.
I know who the Raven was. Although, I don't quite buy that bit about the crown jewels. What's your name, boy?
My name is Matthew Miller,
And where are you from, Matthew Miller?
from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. But my mom and I live in England now. She's taking care of some rich old lady. We're on our way to Venice at the moment. We're taking a cruise on a big ship.
Impressive. You've already seen half the world. I've spent my entire life in Switzerland.
Must be really boring.
You do know these days there are thieves far more dangerous than your old Raven. 2 days ago, a precious ruby was stolen from the British Museum. There was an explosion. A guard was severely injured.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what the papers say?
You talk too much, Constable.
Zellner, monsieur. Anton Jakob Zellner.
Or did he pull a gun on you?
No, monsieur.
Get a move on.
Inspector Legrand, it's a great honor to work with a celebrity like you.
We appreciate the support of the Swiss police, but it'd be better if you'd remain seated and keep an eye on things.
But, monsieur, surely I can be of assistance, somehow. I saw a safe being loaded.
We have everything under control. If you'll excuse me, I'll be in the first freight car at the back of the train for the rest of the trip.
I'm not here to enjoy the beautiful scenery. I am a good observer, and I have finally honed powers of deduction.
Thanks to that?
I watched the people on the platform in Zurich. I know, for example, that man over there is a violinist.
That would be more impressive if there weren't a violin case next to him.
And I believe that the gentleman in the next carriage is a German doctor on his way to Italy to take up a new position.
And what gives you that idea?
There's the rod of Asclepius engraved on his cufflink. And he's carrying a German-Italian dictionary.
Maybe he's just taking a holiday in Italy, following in Goethe's footsteps.
Too much luggage. And no, he's not retiring to Italy either. The suitcases are too shabby for me to believe that he can afford to retire in his late 50s.
All right then, Constable...
Zellner.
Constable Zellner. If you're such a clever fellow, what am I doing on this train?
I think you're guarding something.
Oh, really? And what might it be?
I really couldn't say. But it must be very important.
Why is that?
Because you are very important. They wouldn't have assigned the case to you if it were just a trifle.
Let's assume that we really are transporting something very important on this train. And let's assume that it really is my job to see that it arrives safely. Then why isn't the train crawling with police?
It's a trap.
You've got a vivid imagination. I'll give you that. Well, that is impressive, I admit. But the fewer people involved, the better. We'll get along fine without you.
You won't.
Won't? Pardonnez-moi.
I can help. And I will help. You are in my country. And I've been ordered to assist you. And that's exactly what I'll do. Whether you like it or not.
Clever and stubborn. Your commitment speaks volumes, Zellner. But this is my show, and I don't need you. Bon voyage.
But how do you know? Oh, hello.
You cheated.
I did what?
I saw you talking to the German doctor on the platform. He told you everything himself, and you were just pretending to put 2 and 2 together.
And what of it? Do you know who that is? That's Inspector Nicholas Legrand. You have to impress him if you want to work with him.
I'm going to tell on you.
You'd really tell on me? To the very policeman who shot your dear Raven?
Whoa! It was him?
Mm-hmm. Hunted and killed Europe's most famous burglar. That's how he got his start.
I won't tell him a thing.
I wouldn't either. All right, Matthew. I have to do my work now.
Everyone calls me Matt. Well, except for my mom. She calls me Maddie, as if I were a little kid.
Whether Legrand wants my help or not, I'll keep my eyes open. Maybe I can change his mind. This morning, I thought I wouldn't be hungry because of all the excitement. Thankfully, I bought a sandwich in the end. The apple core in the sandwich paper. That way I can carry it without making a mess of my trouser pocket. Still, I'd prefer not to have to carry them all day. The napkin came with the croissant I bought at the train station. A guilty pleasure. I don't need that either. Every table has its own wastebasket. Practical. No need to ever leave your seat. Every table has its own wastebasket. Practical. No need to ever leave your seat. Every table has its own wastebasket. Practical. No need to ever leave your seat. All right. This is the first car. The coal tender should be directly beyond this door, and in front of it, the engine. The large map shows the different routes of the Orient Express. This train began in Paris and ends in Istanbul, as usual. Unfortunately, it will make most of its journey without me. The violinist is a good-looking fellow. And he's traveling through the most beautiful mountain landscape in the world. One can only hope that his violin is better tuned than he. Hello, sir.
Hello.
If I'm not mistaken, you're a violinist.
That's true.
A wonderful instrument. The violin music touches the soul.
That's why I learned to play it.
Do you play in an orchestra?
No, orchestras aren't really part of my world.
A solo violinist. The best soloists travel a great deal and make a pile of money, or so they say.
In that case, I'm probably not one of the best.
Oh, of course. What I really wanted to ask is, did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Anything unusual?
Persons acting suspiciously, for instance.
For heaven's sake, is there cause for concern?
Everything is in order, sir. We Swiss are just very cautious people.
I understand. No, I didn't notice anything.
Are you traveling to Istanbul non-stop?
No. I'll transfer in Venice to a ship. I'm on my way to Cairo.
Cairo?
I'm performing at the reception in the Egyptian Museum there.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
There could be many reasons for the violinist shaking hand. Strained nerves, an illness. My money's on alcohol. It wouldn't be the first musician who ruined his career that way. The violinist is a good-looking fellow, and he's traveling through the most beautiful mountain landscape in the world. One can only hope that his violin is better tuned than he. I don't know what more to ask. He hasn't noticed anything suspicious.
Very kind of you. Thanks. Oh, pardon me.
No problem. The uniform is waterproof. Mr.
Lucio. Professor Edgar Lucio.
Oh, a professor. Are you a scientist? Do you teach at the Sorbonne?
No, I work at the British Museum in London.
You don't... May I ask where you are going?
Of course. To Venice. I'm going to meet some colleagues there.
Oh, Venice. A beautiful city, or so I'm told.
Indeed. But I really have to take my leave now.
If you work in the British Museum, then you must have experienced the burglary firsthand.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, no?
There was a lot of commotion, but I didn't really pay much attention to it.
There was a break-in in your museum, and it didn't concern you?
Well, let's just say that nothing that's happened in the last 2,000 years concerns me.
Did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Here? On the train? No. I can't say that I have. Although I did spend most of the time in my compartment.
The famous Inspector Legrand is on this train. I imagine you know him.
No. Should I?
You don't know him? And you also don't know what he's doing here?
No. Why should I?
Just a thought. You're a representative of the British Museum. There's a guarded safe on the train.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you're trying to imply. And now, please excuse me.
I don't want to take up any more of your valuable time, but you do understand, don't you, that what concerns me is the present, and especially the robbery at the museum.
Yeah, of course, of course. It's just... I'm in rather a hurry.
You'll get in touch if you notice anything unusual, won't you, Professor?
Of course, Constable. What's this?
What's the matter, sir?
The door. I can't open it.
Ah, we'll sort it out somehow. The compartment is locked.
But I didn't lock it. I don't even have a key. I asked the steward. He was going to bring me one, but he never came back.
Someone locked it.
Find the steward. He needs to bring me the key immediately.
Calm down, Professor. I'll see what I can do.
You don't understand. I have to get back in my compartment.
All right, just wait here. can easily lock the compartment door from inside by turning a little knob.
But I didn't lock it.
Professor, if you had locked the door from in there, you wouldn't be out here.
That's true.
Perhaps a thoughtful conductor noticed that Professor Lucien wasn't in his compartment and locked it. He doesn't make a very balanced impression, and he of all people isn't bothered by a robbery in his own museum. I don't believe it. I never thought I'd ever meet you.
Pardon me, but we'd prefer...
It's all right, Miss Miller. I'd like to speak to the inspector.
Unfortunately, just a constable, Lady Westmacott. I'm reading The Vicarage in the Mirror right now, for the 5th time at least.
That's nice, Constable...
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
This is my...
A pleasure. May I ask what you're doing here? Are you on holiday?
Holiday? Yes, so to speak. The first and last holiday of my life.
Madam?
I've been writing since I was a little girl. It became my job, and now I've stopped. So, this must be a holiday.
You quit writing? Impossible. I have all of your books. Your Detective Partout is my favorite character.
Then I have bad news for you. I killed the old wretch off years ago.
I don't understand.
I'd rather not discuss my work, Constable.
Oh, well, fine. As a writer, you must be very observant. Am I right? I mean, you have to study the behavior of people around you to create the characters in your novels, don't you?
I solved the mystery of human nature a long time ago, Mr. Zellner. Since then, most people just bore me.
Really? I had the impression you were eyeing me suspiciously as I came in.
What do you want to know, Constable?
Did you notice the man who just walked into the next carriage with a cup of tea?
I did. He seemed nervous. He was waiting at the bar for the steward, and since the steward never appeared, he elected to help himself. He took 2 biscuits.
He seems pretty young, but he's already a professor at the British Museum.
Interesting. I'll have to talk to him later. Just out of courtesy, of course.
Of course. Are you traveling to Istanbul non-stop?
No, we are on our way to Venice. From there, we will take a ship to Cairo. As you may know, I have a penchant for archaeology. I fund a few excavations in Egypt. I traveled to Egypt by ship as a young woman. And now I'm doing it again as an old woman.
I see. About the other passengers, did you notice the blonde man with the violin case?
I certainly did. He introduced himself and tried to make a good impression. People like him are drawn to wealth and fame, like moths to a flame.
But his charms failed on you.
I know him by name. David Kreutzer. He was a drain on my friend's purse.
Do you think he has a money problem?
People like him always have a money problem. No matter how much you give them, they always spend twice as much and complain that they have far too little.
Did you notice anyone else? What about the doctor?
I notice that you've asked me about everyone, except for the inspector who went in the direction of the freight car a few minutes ago. Isn't that the Frenchman who made his name when he caught the Raven?
I wouldn't quite say caught.
Well, shot. Why don't you ask me about him and my theory about what he's doing here?
I don't think we should discuss Inspector Legrand's investigation in public.
Legrand, right. That was his name. Will he save the day again? Or will you, Constable?
As much as I'd like to keep talking, duty calls.
You were right.
Madam?
I did observe you as you came in. You seemed so eager.
It's been a long time since I've had a chance to prove myself, madam.
And this is it. Your chance.
I do hope so.
Then grab it. Even small people can make big changes, as my friend Ronald likes to say.
I shall do my best. An extraordinary woman. Talented, intellectual, extremely rich, and the most successful writer of all time. Yet, they say she can be difficult on occasion, and that she's rather unhappy. Mrs. Miller made a good impression. She wanted to protect Lady Westmacott from me, a pushy admirer. Very diligent, but she does seem a little nervous and tense. I imagine she... I suppose the steward won't object to me having a look around in his absence. Butterscotch. I've loved them since I was a child. They're only... Who'd have thought that one day butterscotch... Perhaps he keeps the compartment keys in there. Locked. Where could he be? A shortwave radio. It's amazing how small these things have become in the last 10 years. The pad on which the steward writes orders. Empty. Maybe he didn't use it because there's not much to do today. The steward probably uses the scissors on hard-to-open packages. These days, nearly everything is sealed up tight. A colleague recently told me about dry powdered soup in small bags. I couldn't believe it. I'll leave the scissors here. If I need them, I know where to find them. I'll leave this... I don't need the pad. I made the acquaintance of Dr. Gebhardt on the platform in Zurich.
Mr...
Zellner.
Right. How can I help you?
Any news about the robbery in London?
Quite something, wasn't it? It must have been professionals. The way they disabled one of the best security systems in the world. Most impressive.
People were injured.
Well, one cannot execute a robbery of that scale without collateral damage. It seems like the Raven has finally found a worthy successor. We can look forward to new and spectacular coups.
I'm afraid I won't enjoy his exploits this time around if the new Raven is so reckless.
That's your prerogative.
Tell me, did you notice anything suspicious here on the train or in Zurich?
You mean, except for the fact that my suitcase was stolen on the platform? No. Is there any reason to be concerned?
No, just routine.
Constable Zellner, please don't think I'm naive. I spotted the inspector from Interpol. Legarde is his name, if I recall correctly.
Legrand.
If you say so. At the train station in Zurich, he put a cash box into the safe, and then kept close watch as it was loaded onto the train. Don't tell me that a man at his pay grade routinely tramps across the Alps just to keep an eye on cash boxes.
A cash box?
Precisely. And I believe we both have a good idea just what's inside.
I do indeed have a theory, but what's yours?
A ruby was stolen in London. One of the legendary Eyes of the Sphinx. The second jewel, an emerald, is rumored to be in a Swiss bank vault, if I remember correctly. Both jewels were supposed. It does make one wonder.
Indeed. There's something else. Do you know where the conductor is?
I'd like to know that myself. I told him to search for my missing suitcase in Zurich. He hasn't got back to me yet. He's probably in cahoots with the thieves, and didn't bother if we don't crack down on...
Well, at the moment, we still don't know what really happened.
His...
Your newspaper caught my eye. May I borrow it for a second?
You can take the section with the article on the burglary. You're interested in that bit, aren't you?
You caught me out. Dankeschön. Auf Wiedersehen, Dr. Gebhardt.
Goodbye, Constable.
I strongly suspect that the door is locked. No, it's open. Hello? Wow.
Don't move a muscle, you feathered fiend.
Put the gun down, Robert. If I may introduce Constable Robert Oliver from the yard. This is the revered Constable Zellner of the Swiss police, who obviously couldn't control his curiosity.
Then I was right. You really do want to lure someone into a trap.
That's none of your business.
And how would I bait my trap then?
With an eye? An eye on its way from Zurich to Cairo?
Someone has done his homework. Well done, Constable.
What do you know of this Raven's heir?
He tried to blow me up.
Robert, we don't know who we're dealing with yet.
In any event, the new Raven is a more dangerous man than the old one.
How do you know it's a man? It could just as easily be a woman.
Or several men.
And anyway, how do you know that it's a new Raven?
Monsieur?
Never mind.
I hope you'll acknowledge that I, as a Swiss policeman, can undertake investigations in my own country.
Are we still in Switzerland?
I could be your eyes on the train as...
Oh, really?
There is a certain Professor Lucien on the train. He's an archaeologist from London.
And what's his story?
Well, it seems someone locked him out of his compartment.
Locked him out?
Well, yes. The door is locked and he's standing outside without a key.
Was it locked from inside?
It may have been. Do you think the locked door could be important?
Professor Lucien plays an important role in this story. Well then, Constable Zellner, be my eyes and ears on the train and see that Professor Lucien gets back into his compartment. Report back to me when you're...
My pleasure, monsieur. I go attend to the door now.
Good. And, Constable Zellner?
Yes?
Don't bother us unless you have something new to report.
Of course.
Exactement.
Understood. An investigation on behalf of Legrand that takes me one step closer. If I can convince him of my competence, I might even be able to see this case through to the end. A box with a padlock. I suppose it contains tools for the train's crew, maybe for coupling and uncoupling the cars. At any rate, it's positioned so that it's easier to reach from the ground than from up here. Locked.
Bang! Bang!
Huh?
Don't move!
Mad? Have you gone mad?
I'll shoot! Hey, my pistol!
You'll get it back in Venice. I could have fallen under the wheels.
I thought you were a ghost.
Ghosts don't exist.
They do too.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, man.
The box is secured with a padlock. I won't be able to open it without a key. Inspector Legrand was quite clear. I'm only to enter the freight car if there's news to report. The ladder leads up to the roof. It will be suicidal to climb up there while the train is at full speed. The wind, tunnels... No, I'll stay down here. I'd better let him read his newspaper if I don't have any pressing questions. Stuart's pencil. Probably one of the most traveled pencils in the world. When I scratch the pencil's lead with the scissors, I get fine graphite powder. I won't get a Nobel Prize for the idea, but graphite powder will bring out fingerprints at a pinch. I need a bit of wire or something like that to pick the lock.
Constable?
Yes, ma'am.
My son didn't make any trouble for you, I hope. It's just that he just walked past us, silent and seething. That's usually a sign.
I'm afraid so. He played a trick on me, a rather dangerous one. The lad left me no choice but to take away his wooden pistol as a punishment.
I understand. And thank you. Matty is a very lively child.
Where is Matt's father, if I may ask?
He's...
Ah.
Could you...
Of course. I told him he wouldn't get it back until Venice.
Very well. Thank you again, Constable.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Oh, I'm afraid not. I was totally focused on my work.
She's always got an awful lot to do, my Mary.
You have to tell me if that's not all right with you.
Good Lord, child. Knit as much as you want.
So, nothing out of the ordinary?
No, Constable.
Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye.
Professor Lucien?
Yes? Do you have the key?
Actually, I wanted...
Please. I have to go back to my compartment.
I don't believe that... It's no use. The bolt is too short to get a good grip on it. I need the right key or a proper... First, I better see if it doesn't seem... He doesn't make... And he of all... There could be many reasons for the violinist shaking my mind. The little label on the door reads Baroness von Trebit.
Yes, what is it?
Whoever that is, James, ask them whether they found my purse and then closed the door. The noise on this train is driving...
You're missing a purse. Was it stolen?
At the very least, I cannot find it, sir.
It was stolen.
When was the last time the Baroness saw her purse?
What?
In Zurich.
I just asked where you last saw your purse.
In Zurich on the platform. James, tell him that I still had it when I got out to stretch my legs.
Maybe you lost it there.
The Baroness...
I never lose.
Very well, then. If I might ask you a few questions about your fellow passengers.
I thought he was looking for my purse. James, tell him to look for my purse.
The Baroness wishes that you sir...
But couldn't we perhaps... All right.
Thank you, sir.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
A passenger's purse has gone missing. I suppose you haven't seen it.
Sorry, no.
Nor have I.
Have you asked my little boy? Maddie is good at finding things.
I haven't asked him yet, but I will. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
The steward must have forgotten the two. Normally, he would offer them discreetly. I scraped a small amount of graphite off the pencil lead. The powder is very fine, practically dust. I need a bit of wire. Hello, Dr. Gebhardt.
Ah, Mr.
I meant to ask, the Baroness is missing her purse.
A Baroness? This train is really full of the creme de la creme.
Have you seen the purse?
Unfortunately, no. Do you know Lady Westmacott? You were...
Well, I'm an admirer.
Like so many others.
I read that too. Auf Wiedersehen.
Goodbye, Constable.
The box is secured with a padlock. Inspector Legrand?
Anything to report?
Baroness von Trebitz told me that she's missing her purse.
Baroness von Trebitz? Interesting.
Indeed, sir.
But it has nothing to do with our case.
So I shouldn't concern myself with the matter.
Why not? It's your job as a police, but don't expect me to be particularly...
I'll get back.
Good.
I'd better let him read his newspaper if I don't have any pressing questions. Baroness seems to have, I'd better not... First, I'd better see about getting the door. He doesn't make, and he of all people. First, doesn't see... Hello, Matt. Oh, come on. Are you going to be angry with me for the rest of the trip?
Until I get my pistol back.
I gave it to your mother.
Oh, man. Couldn't you have just raked me over the coals?
Would you have learned anything from that?
I didn't learn anything from this either.
Come on, Matt. Did you really think that you can ignore me for longer than I can ignore you? I'm Swiss. It's practically a national sport. Matt is digging in his heels. I won't get anything out of him as long as he's angry with me. Matt is digging in his... I won't get... If I may trouble you once more... A passenger is missing her purse. Perhaps you've seen it.
So, there are thieves on the train.
It's been missing.
The Swiss don't let go of money easily, do they? Oh, pardon. No, I haven't seen them.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
I think it's uncomfortable for her when I talk to her, although she's... There are thousands, but nothing. Yet... I need a bit of wire or something like that to pick the lock. I'd better let him... The box is secure. In the wind is really no place to be reading the newspaper. I'd better go back inside. Luna's Drops. The calming herbal liqueur for women. A glass a day. It relaxes the nerves. Luna's Drops. If you don't want to bother your husband. John Surtees won making him the only man. Not really my cup of tea. Too loud, too fast. Let's see if there's any new. Blah, 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 blah. Old news. Shocking burglary. Professional thieves surprised by museum guard Charles Langley and Constable Robert Oliver. An incredible feat. And because of the most expensive. I'd better let him read his newspaper if I don't. Inspector Legrand.
Anything to report?
Constable Robert Oliver. Is it possible that I read your name in the newspaper?
Ah, could be, sir. Could very well be.
Robert was there when the first Eye of the Sphinx was stolen.
Why were you in the museum? Did you spot something from outside?
Well, sir, I noticed that a door was ajar, which was suspicious, and it was my duty to investigate, sir.
Scotland Yard gave him a commendation and assigned him to me as a liaison.
A great honor, sir.
I'll get back to work now.
Good.
The box is... I'd better let him read his new... There are thousands of things, but nothing... I scraped a small amount of graphite off the pencil lead. The powder... There are... but nothing... Matt is digging in his... I won't get any... Would you like a butterscotch?
You think you can bribe me?
I have no reason to. You made trouble and got punished for it. Take it as a peace offering.
Just 4?
If I'm faster than you, there'll only be 3.
Hey!
Friends again? All right, then. And no dangerous nonsense anymore.
Okay.
Your mother is Lady Westmacott's companion, correct?
Yeah, but it's not like you think. At first I thought, boy, you must be really wicked if you need to pay for friends. But the lady's really okay. A bit odd and really old. But other than that, she's great. She likes me.
The lady has peculiar taste.
Hey!
You and your mother, do you both live on Lady Westmacott's estate?
I'm only there for the holidays. Most of the time I'm at boarding school.
I imagine that's not very pleasant.
No, it's fine. I have friends there. You always have to be so quiet in the lady's house. And I'm not allowed to bring any friends.
Such a big house with so many places to hide. And no one to play hide and seek with.
You said it.
And how long has your mother worked for the lady?
2 years.
And your father? What does he do?
He stayed home. I used to go fishing with him. And hunting. He even let me shoot a real gun.
And then?
Then Mom fought with him. And he left. I was 7.
Oh. And how old are you now?
In 8 months, I'll be 9 years old.
And do you already know what you want to be when you grow up? A burglar?
No. We'll see. Maybe an actor.
Really? Well, I don't know. You need a lot of talent for that. I'm an actor in a theater group, you know?
You are?
Oh, yes. And I'm one of the best in our group, if I may say so. I get really deep into my roles, you know? I don't just talk like the character. I think like... Matt, are you okay?
I think you just have to be good at copying things to be an actor.
That wasn't bad. Disturbing, but not bad. The Baroness in the second compartment over there is missing her purse. Do you have any idea where it could be?
Do I ever? That guy over there with the violin case?
What about him?
He picked up something in Zurich and put it in his violin case.
Really?
Yeah, and he made sure that nobody saw him. Uh-huh. Nah, not really. But now that I think of it, it must have been...
I should look into it,
I think so.
Tell me, have you seen the steward anywhere? Hopefully they didn't. I'm looking for a key to open a compartment door.
Did you check his things behind the counter?
I'm sure the drawers will be locked.
Can't you break it open? Or pick the lock like...
Perhaps. But I'd need a piece of wire or something like that.
Ask my mom. She has...
So long.
So long.
The violin case looks pretty old. The best violin. I doubt the violinist will let me have a look in his... Excuse me, sir. About the purse.
Ah, yes? Has it been found?
Someone saw you with your violin case on the platform in Zurich.
What's the meaning of this? I didn't steal anything.
Nobody said you did. I just wanted to ask you whether you might have noticed anything on the platform.
Ah, well...
Why did you think I was accusing you?
Well, I thought... because you mentioned my violin case in the context...
Apropos, may I have a look at your violin? It must be a very extraordinary piece.
Oh, that's not possible.
Very valuable.
Very.
And what could harm it here? Light? Air? May I ask you to open the violin case?
No, you may not.
I'm afraid I have to insist.
Then I'm afraid you need a warrant. I will not stand back and let you rifle through my belongings.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
The bolt is too short to get a good grip on it. I'm at a loss without... Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Please excuse my unusual request, but Matt said you have some hairpins. Could I borrow one?
One of my hairpins?
It's a long story. It would be...
Well, if you read...
Go ahead, Mary. The constable.
Of course not, madam.
Is this one okay?
It'll do night. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye.
The wooden toothpicks, nothing. Inspector Legrand was quite... I'm only... The box is secured with a padlock. Picking a modern padlock in an uncomfortable position on a rocking train? I'm too old for that. The box is secured with a... And suddenly, it's me who's the thief on the train. Whoops. That was easier than expected. Batteries, a toothbrush, shaving brush, but not the key to the compartment door. Just this one. Too small for the door, but it might... There are but nothing. First, I better see. It doesn't seem. It doesn't work with this kind of lock. I need something. No, that's a totally different key. I need a bigger key. I don't want to imply. There we go. This should help. Inspector Legrand, I'm only to... I'd better let it... There are... but nothing. There are... but nothing. Pills. I'm supposed to take one if I have trouble. My daughter insists, but I wasn't. I didn't find the...
Then go right ahead.
I better...
Well, come on then, hurry up.
Hello?
I barely left the window ajar.
Nothing to see.
Ah.
Are you okay?
Hmm? Yes. Fine.
Do you have any idea why the door was locked?
I don't know. Maybe the constant vibration.
You can't possibly believe that.
Well, then what's your theory?
The conductor could have locked it from the outside. On the other hand, it could have been someone here in the compartment who locked the door from the inside.
Who? And where?
They could have climbed out there.
Who would be that insane?
You tell me, So, what are you hiding in your bag? What do you...
No.
No valuables?
Certainly not.
It was enough for a first-class...
That's...
You playing a date? I'd like to look around.
Of course.
Professor Lucien?
Yes?
Oh, nothing.
Well,
Professor Lucien?
Yes?
Oh, nothing.
Well, good.
Assuming there really was someone in the... What's this?
What do you have there?
It's a button. From a suit or a uniform, I guess.
The burglar might have lost it.
Maybe. Or maybe. If I notice anyone... But I wouldn't get my hopes up. I really wonder what the... But I can't just rifle. Wow.
If you'd managed to decode...
The Bible? Professor Lucy?
Yes?
Oh, nothing.
Well...
Key to a pad, I'm sure. Goodbye,
Goodbye.
Professor Lucien.
How can I help you?
I'd like to have a look around the compartment.
Oh.
Did the bird... Here's something. Might be fingerprints. They're tough to make out, but I do believe there are some prints on the window. If I had a forensics kit, I could make the prints visible with carbon powder.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to make what I suspect are fingerprints visible.
And? Found anything?
Unfortunately, no. There are only a couple of fingerprints on the window. It was probably cleaned before departure, but the prints I can see look like glove marks.
Well, wouldn't you expect that? What professional burglar wouldn't wear gloves?
Which makes me wonder what
I
thought as much. It was worth a try. I can only make out faint traces. Whoever was in the... I scraped a... Professor Lucien.
Yes?
Oh.
Well...
I scraped a... Professor...
Yes?
Oh, nothing.
Well...
Professor...
Yes?
Godspeed, thanks. The good professor is hiding. It would be good if I could find out more about him. I think the violinist is hiding something, but how can I do that? I think the violinist, but to be sure, how can I do... I think the... but to be... how can I... No, I'd like some fresh air.
But I don't want to catch a cold.
You're not alone on this train. I want the window open.
Swift politeness doesn't seem to be what it used to be. I'm not going to catch a cold because of you.
All right, Matt. Tell me now. The violinist won't let me check his violin case.
Of course he won't. He's hiding something. Should I distract him? Then you can have a look.
What do you suggest?
I could tell him there's a suitcase full of money in the next carriage.
I don't think you'll fall.
Or I could insult him and then run away.
Now that I think about it, this is something I have to attend to on my own. It would...
Little boy!
Sorry, Sheriff, but your idea about it... So long.
So long.
That makes no sense. The violinist would close the window immediately, and I wouldn't have enough... I think the violinist is high, but to be sure, how can I do... The wooden toothpicks, nothing on you. The Baroness, I better not...
Pardon me, sir.
We could have used you a few minutes ago. Mrs. Miller?
Yes?
Thank you for your hairpin, Mrs. Miller. It really got me out of a jam.
Oh, really? That's good to hear. And thank you for bringing...
I'm a Swiss policeman, madam. Goodbye, Mrs. Miller.
Goodbye, Constable.
I think it's... Although... Hello, Doctor.
Ah,
I've been wondering why you're wearing gloves. Are your hands really so
nah, well, it's an old habit. Though, of course, perhaps I do...
I know exactly what you mean. As a policeman, I send Auf Wiedersehen, Dr.
Goodbye, Constable.
Inspector Legrand?
Anything to report?
I got Professor Lucien into his compartment using a pair of pliers.
Did you notice anything inside the compartment?
The window was open. Someone could have climbed out.
And the professor?
Acted suspiciously. He rummaged around in his leather bag.
And?
He seemed to have found what he was searching for.
Good. Good work.
Now, perhaps you could give me some information.
All right. We should...
What? The light's gone out.
Flashlights! Ah! Get off me!
There, sir. An envelope.
My dear Nico, you should take a closer look at the box. R.
What the dickens? It's a...
Away with it! Take cover!
Oh, dear. Oh.
Is everyone all right? Are you hurt? Quick thinking. Well done, Zellner.
I think the tunnel collapsed.
Then he's trapped. Hurry, we have to lock the second exit.
Sir, there's a fire up ahead. The engine's burning.
It's a distraction. Hurry, block the exit.
But, sir...
The fire will consume all the oxygen.
He's right, Inspector. A fire in a narrow tunnel is extremely dangerous.
Merde! Go to the front of the train, find the engineer, and tell him to move the train out of the tunnel.
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? You have to uncouple the...
I understand.
I'll see to the passengers. They should all wait in the tunnel.
Let's get to it. The inspector's trap failed. The thief must have got wind of it. Worse than that, he turned the tables to win a game of The wheels came off the track during the explosion. Even if it were possible. I'm sure I could uncouple the car if I only had enough light to see what I'm doing. My God, what a fire. A lot was damaged by the sudden stop, but the bowl was thick enough to survive the fall. The last of the candy has vanished.
Oh, pardon me. I did not mean to scare you.
What are you doing here, Doctor?
Legrand asked me to check whether there are any passengers left on the train.
Really? No one is here, except for me and you.
Excellent. Then I will continue searching at the front.
How are the passengers?
They are in a state of shock, of course. The blackout and the sudden stop were frightening enough, but then the explosion, the dust. Everyone rushed for the exits. I was helping the American woman bring Lady Westmacott to safety. They are waiting outside in the tunnel. One entrance is blocked by a fire, and the other one seems to have collapsed.
Did anyone act suspiciously before the explosion? Did anyone leave their seat, for example?
I was the only one on the train who wasn't seated when the freight car exploded. Thank God. Otherwise, I would have been caught by the blast as well.
You certainly were lucky.
Perhaps I was. What happened over there? The inspector said something about gas canisters that exploded.
He didn't want to scare you. The truth is, it was a bomb meant to kill him and the Bobby.
My God. An attack? But who would...
The
Oh, of course.
Continue to search the train. I'll decouple the buried freight car.
All right.
Can you give me a few matches?
Oh, certainly.
Thanks.
Do hurry.
I should concentrate on uncoupling the freight car. I'm positive that Legrand has everything else under control. There's a noticeable draft here. Maybe it's because of the fire, or perhaps there's still a hole through which the air is coming. The latter will be quite welcome. It will buy us some more time. I can feel cold metal and a screw thread, and a lot of... but I can't do more without... It's still quite warm and too warped to open. The last of the can... The chair either fell over thanks to wanting to get off the train as quickly as possible after a sudden... I noticed the extinguisher earlier. Doesn't match the decor. It's not bothering me. I bought it last week. It was set aside. I don't see Legrand or the constable, but I can make out all the same. I should concentrate on uncoupling. The fire is sucking the oxygen out of the tunnel and filling it with poison here in the Alps. It'll be used at best. Okay, I'll smear some grease on the curtain. I can feel cold metal and a screw, but I can't do more without light. Pills for my heart. I'm supposed to... I bought it last week. It was... I can feel cold, but I can't... Pills. I'm supposed to... The other passengers, if I don't... The chair either fell over thanks to the sudden warning to get off the train as quickly as possible after a sudden stop. It'd be blown out right away. I better save the matches. I can feel cold, but I can't do more. I bought it last week. It was... Hello? Nothing. Can't see anything up there. Too much dust and smoke in the air. The last of the... Carling Black Label. No good. Insufficient alcohol for practical purposes. It's not bothering me. Must be good for... All right, let's go. I bought it last week. Second, it was... I can feel cold, but I can't... The last of the candy. The greasy cloth is wrapped tightly. I shouldn't be wasteful. The greasy cloth. I shouldn't be wasteful. One burning match should be... The last of the candy has vanished. Champagne. Maybe we'll... Oil and grease, but... Oil and grease burn bright and hot, but they also require a hot flame to combust. A normal match won't do the trick. The greasy cloth is wrapped... I bought it last week, second-hand. I like it. Was... There's a pretty I bought it last week. Second, it was pills. I'm supposed... Pills. For my... I'm supposed... Whiskey, scotch, rum. High-proof rum. Rum from I filled the bowl. I filled the bowl about a... strong stuff. Just as I expected, the alcohol burns with an almost invisible flame. The flame is hot, but it's no use as a light source. I expect the rum will burn like ethanol, but I better not... Rum from Austria. Believe it. The flame is hot, but it's not... I expect the rum... I expect the rum will burn like ethanol. Rum from Austria. I'm the god of fire. That's better now. A lever on a pressure sleeve running along a thread. Incredibly basic. Won't budge. Aha! I can uncouple it with this lever. Okay. Good. The coupling isn't under tension anymore. I should be able to uncouple it now. There we go. Time to get out of here.
Listen, everybody! Listen! Robert, what's the situation?
Yeah, I couldn't find the engineer, so I got in the driver's cab myself and released the brake.
All right. Good job. You too. Listen, please!
Matty! Where's Matt? Where's my son?
Relax, madame. I'm sure...
Help!
Matty! No!
Matt, where are you? Oh. Jumping off is not an option. We're going much too fast. Matt, are you there? Nothing. The engine and the coal tender are burning stronger and hotter. The airflow is feeding the flames. I have to decouple the wagons immediately. Sooner or later, the engine will be blown. Damn, that makes things extremely complicated. Hey. There you are. What were you thinking? Come out of there.
Is he gone?
Is who gone?
The man!
What are you doing on the train anyway? Why didn't you wait in the tunnel with the other passengers?
I wanted to get my pistol.
Your pistol?
If there's so many cops and thieves and explosions and everything, then I need a pistol too.
Makes sense. What about this man?
There was a man. He was coughing.
One of the passengers?
I think he came down from the roof.
All right. First, I'll stop the train, and then we'll have a chat, okay? You want to come out? I suppose this handbag belongs to Miss Miller, Matt's mother. Lady Westmacott's bag is probably smaller. Aha. I can't get in. I presume the Baroness's luggage toppled over and is blocking the door. Professor Lucien's suitcase. Unlike the leather bag, he left it behind when he fled the train with the other passengers. I don't think there's anything interesting in it. Whatever the... A large, soft towel. Very What have you got yourself into? Couldn't you have just let it be? But no, of course not. And now you... What are you waiting for, eh? Time to save... My situation isn't that desperate. I'll wrap it around my neck to keep my hands free. The tanks... They see out of the window. I don't know how much... If the emergency brake... Here go. Ouch! Hot! The handle is already too hot to... Locked. This door, I suppose. An axe is for emergencies. If this isn't an emergency, The handle is already... Okay. We'll do it the hard way. The handle is already too hot to touch. If I go outside, I don't want to risk... The emergency brake either was... Matt saw something. It could, but if I don't... Matt hasn't... Matt? Look.
Thanks.
Cover me. Okay.
No problem.
Jumping off is not an option. We're going much too fast. Matt saw something, but if I don't... Matt hasn't... A steam locomotive is controlled chaos. A runaway steam locomotive is a... The handle is already too hot to touch. If I go outside, but I don't want to... The handle is already too hot to touch. It's soaking up the cold water. No, the towel is already wet enough. That should do the trick. The coupling won't release because it's under too much tension. The engine is pulling the cars and it's just a... That's not just smoke. I can actually... It's time for my deputy sheriff's story. I uncoupled the locomotive at full speed. Not bad, eh?
Do you think we'll get in trouble?
Because of the locomotive? I don't think so. It was pretty old already. Come out so we can have a chat. I checked the entire train. There's no one on it except for us. What an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me, what did you see on the train?
Well, it was like this. I wanted to get my pistol. Achoo!
And then?
When the guy was gone, I got up and banged on the window. I wanted to get out of there, but then I thought, what if the guy can hear me from the next car? So I got scared, and I hid again.
You did well. The envelope that the man lost, where is it?
I thought it might be important.
I think we should have a look. Some cash, an Italian passport, blank. Very interesting. And here, a ticket for
the cruise!
What?
The tickets we have for the big ship from Venice to Cairo look exactly the same.
Interesting. May I...
What do you want to do?
Take a vacation.
It's evidence.
And my chance to go with you.
The ticket and everything else. And you...
If I hadn't given you the envelope, you'd have no proof that the Raven's heir would be on the ship.
And he won't give up until he has it.
And that's precisely why you should let me come along.
No.
I deserve to come alone.
What you did was extraordinary. Far more than anyone could have a right to expect.
And you still want to leave me behind?
You met our foe and barely escaped with your life. You may not be that lucky.
It wasn't luck. I have not achieved anything yet. The Fiend tried to kill us, and he's still at large. What else did you find out in the tunnel?
Not much. After we came...
Which didn't turn up...
No. The engineer and the fireman were missing. Both claimed to have been overwhelmed by a shadow.
But you don't believe that.
I'm checking their...
How could the Raven...
The dynamite...
You had no...
It wasn't my own.
How did you know?
Too late. I should have reacted instantly.
I'm coming with you. Full stop.
The thief... For all we... You cannot come.
But, Inspector...
We're here.
Inspector Legrand, an urgent telegram from Paris.
Bad news?
It's about the unfortunate events on the train. And to return to...
But, sir...
They want...
Might.
Egyptian authorities? What...
I know. I never received it. Keep a close watch on the loading of the eye, Robert.
Aye, sir. It was a pleasure meeting.
What is the constable's problem with me?
I think he's jealous. Scotland Yard.
With the distinction.
Robert is to accompany me.
At this moment.
I know.
And the second...
Yes, and it's been kept in a bank. I personally took it out of the bank vault, and Professor Lucien certified that...
And while a fake...
The real one was brought here.
How is it protected?
You can only... Professor Lucien...
So...
That's correct.
Commendable. I hope you...
Indeed I am.
Why do you care so much? Someone...
What?
What do you mean?
It's his handwriting. Have you...
But... What do you mean?
Let us assume who would have the chief of... And it was the best thing that he had...
And now he's back? And does that sound probable to you?
The feather...
Policemen gossip. And there are plenty of forgers. You can't seriously intend to stake your reputation on such weak evidence.
My reputation... I have to find out who's behind all this.
Let's review. One of the two most valuable jewels, obviously, and you suspect. The second, we don't know. Therefore, there's just one key left. So,
look, you can keep your... But when this ship sets sail...
But
we're dealing with it. I won't let you get mixed.
It's still my...
No, it's not. It's my... Good day.
In my younger years, I might have considered, but... Amazing how much... And I... Fine car, but nothing... I'll be marching up this gangway today. Someone... I don't want to run into Legrand before I have something new to report. Otherwise, he'll... The sea is quite... Unfortunate. I'll take an inconspicuous look up close.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't expecting...
Don't worry about it, miss. No harm done.
That...
Zellner. May I ask your name?
Patricia Mayers.
Are you American?
I am. Could you help me, please?
Sure. Are you on your way to Egypt?
Yes.
Are you on holiday?
My father works for a railroad company there. Yes. Wonderful. One more.
You're lucky to have a...
Oh, yeah.
Aren't you interested in Egypt?
I would have been more...
I'm sure your father...
No doubt. And I'm sure he... Bring my luggage on board.
Excuse me?
It was a pleasure meeting you, Constable Zellner.
Impert... Is the doctor afraid to... Hello, Dr. Gebhardt.
Ah, the hero.
The hero of the hour, but out of work soon.
Oh.
Yes, but on my old beat, which is almost as...
I am...
Is your new job bothering you?
I wasn't sure whether... I'm from the Black Forest, but now...
The sea is one thing.
It will be okay.
What do you know about the Baroness?
No.
Did you talk to her in the tunnel?
No, as you can imagine.
That's understandable.
So,
have you already met the captain?
Mario, heard of him?
Should I have?
He is something of a star. In the second world, he had some...
You mean...
Yeah. Anyway, sending him his ship...
Impressive.
To say his, I think...
Well, unfortunately... Take care, Dr. Gett.
Oh, we found...
I'm afraid so.
Strophantine. Maybe it's...
You mean... if
James? James! Where on earth are you?
Hello, Baroness.
Ah, Inspector.
Constable.
Poppycock. You won't be a constable much longer. When they find out how you rescued that little boy, they'll have to promote you to Inspector.
Very kind of you to say so, Baroness. I hope you survived your...
Scandalous. Huh. They wanted... I insist.
Did you know that the real...
I hadn't inspect, although I'm the...
The inspector is...
Well,
I hope that the remain...
You aren't coming?
I'm afraid...
Now, where's my... James, is the...
Baroness?
Baroness? She fainted.
No.
Baroness?
Again, harder.
Hello.
Perhaps we should...
Now.
I'll get Dr. Gebhardt.
No, no, Doctor. Just a little moment of your arm, James. Take me to the ship.
But...
That was no moment of weakness. She saw something that shocked her. Or someone. Very especially since she doesn't want to admit it. Who or what did she see? Neither of them seems to have noticed what happened down here. You'll have a tough time with her. How does one get aboard without a ticket? Not brilliant, but it's a possibility.
Oh, who do we have here?
This is Constable Anton Zellner.
Signor Zellner, I heard about your feats. Welcome aboard the MS Lydia.
Thank you, Captain.
I didn't know you'd be taking part in the journey, but I'll have a nice cabin prepared for you immediately.
The constable will not be joining us. He has other...
Oh, that's too... I would have loved to hear...
I'd like to accept your offer, but unfortunately, higher powers...
I am sorry to hear. We are by...
The constable...
in about 15 minutes.
There you have it, Constable.
May I ask how to get to the cargo hold?
Oh, signori, there are much nicer places.
But I'm interested in the...
Why is that?
One of the...
You... That's not his...
That's what makes it more likely, and the copycats like hide...
Oh, come now.
Actually, it would be possible.
What do you mean?
You can't buy a ticket for the Lydia at the counter. You book the trip in a slot.
And... So much... But we'll meet here. Captain Dick...
Sir, the car, the whole...
And...
Follow me to the bridge.
My time is running out. If I don't... Oh, no. Oh, what's this? Aha. door to this locker is ajar. Empty. The left 3... That's the young woman's cabriolet. Apparently they absolutely had to take at Daddy's expense. Hello? Come on out. The game's up. I'm... The shards are... Phew, I start... For who? Ouch! Damned... Ah! It would be best if no one found out about this. I can make out a car. It's no use. There's some blood. Here, I really can't afford to... I'll hold it on the blood. Whoever locked it... Whoever locked the door is stronger than me. It's already dark. I don't see anyone. But what if who... I bought it last... I should be careful.
What are you up to, Zelna?
I wanted to determine whether the gun had been fired recently, Inspector.
I mean, what are you doing on the ship?
I was jumped in the cargo hold.
Of course you were.
Here, look. Careful how you hold it. There could be fingerprints on the end.
Surely you don't expect me to believe you.
I was inspecting the trunk. I found it in the cargo hold, and it was clear that someone had hidden inside it to board the ship.
Some people are willing to go to great lengths to be a part of this journey.
Indeed. Whoever it was, they struck me on the head from behind with the pipe while I was looking. Oh, and they shot at me as well.
Ridiculous. You wanted to... I should throw you overboard.
I would have dreamed up something.
True.
See? And there's a bullet wedged in a wooden crate down there.
The doctor should have a look at it. Come with me.
Inspector Constable.
So it would seem.
I'm just fine, Cap.
Deacon.
I'm in control. Tell Dave.
Sir,
And you'll be in the bar tonight at 10.
If that...
It will be...
the fresh... But I'm...
Not quite... I was jumped from behind.
Dr. Gep?
Of course. Ah, Doctor, there you are. Our brave Constable Zell.
Oh. Sit down, please.
Now, please.
Why didn't anyone come looking for me? Didn't anyone notice that I didn't come back from the cargo hold?
We did search for you, but we couldn't find you.
Who was supposed to search the cargo hold?
Constable Oliver. I'll have a talk with him about that later. Is it bad?
Yes, it hurts.
I spoke with Dr. Gebhardt.
He suffered a violent...
But I can. It really hurts. I think you've got a stowaway on board.
Intolerable. I'll have the crew search every nook and cranny of the ship. And...
Good to know that at least...
How many fingers do you see?
I see 5 fingers. 3 of them stretched out.
Okay.
Where are we? And
it's just...
You just missed Dean. But we'll... Greeting the passengers personally.
You're all right now, Constable. The bleeding has stopped. You may have a mild concussion. You just need a good night's sleep. And tomorrow, your only worry...
Thanks.
That's a good enough reason to celebrate. Enough!
Inspector!
What?
A dark shadow. Upper deck, just now.
Go, let's have a look.
I'll join you.
Me too.
No, you stay here.
Do you want to make this an argument?
Robert, go. Zellner, you're coming to the port. Doctor, I'll start.
But...
Baroness von Trebitz! Hello? Baroness von Trebitz? Open the door!
All right, Doc. I'm off.
Oh no, I'm not going on a man... Are you okay? Maybe you had better take a rest, in case the...
I'm okay.
Zellner, up here!
Come on. I think it came from up there.
Sure, you just wanted to get a breath of fresh air. Zellner, look who we have here.
Well, if that's not our...
And our stowaway.
Spent any time hiding in a trunk recently?
Me do nothing.
He claims to be part of the crew. Just wanted to get some fresh air.
Of course.
The Baroness won't open the door, sir.
Understood. You were right.
Yes.
Right, but that doesn't mean that the Raven isn't lurking here.
What was that?
A shot!
It came from one of the cabins.
Oh no! Baroness von Trebitz? Baroness! Open the door!
Step aside, please.
We have a murder on our hands, gentlemen. Hurry, Zellner. The murderer still has to be nearby. There's practically no one on deck. Anyone who's outside is a suspect. This time, we'll get him. Zellner, are you okay?
Yes. Come on. We have to.
Zellner! Zellner! Murder!
Ah, you awake? Sleep well, did you?
I like to sleep late when I take a cruise.
While everyone else is hard at...
I didn't pass out last night because of the blow to my head, did I?
Seems unlikely. Inspector Legrand thinks you were drugged.
But how? The champagne.
Who gave you the glass of champagne?
Captain De Conti. Have you arrested anyone yet?
You mean besides the Arab?
He could hardly have committed the...
We heard the shot. I looked. You were already...
Any other suspect?
No.
A clever...
But we...
You really...
Well...
But still... About the shame... With...
It's quite impressive what the inspector can do.
A competent...
And...
What's the...
well... no, a lot in... Of course. And on the murderer... Bad.
But... I think...
That's fine. It's not easy playing with the big boys, Constable Zellner.
No.
Come in.
Hello, Dr. Gebhardt.
And there's the next one.
Excuse me?
You want something else from me, don't you?
What
a first day... Well...
What's the result of your examination of the victim?
She's dead.
I didn't make you work all night long, Dr.
She was shot. It seems like she was lying in bed. The shot struck her heart. She died immediately.
One shot?
More were unnecessary. And we only heard one shot.
And there's just
one.
I am told that I was drugged.
That's how it seems.
What can you tell me about it?
Me?
Haven't you analyzed?
No, I have. The inspector said I let him do it.
Do you think the Baroness might have been drugged? She was very tough.
Yeah, I heard about that. And without having seen her myself...
Of course.
She was...
Doesn't sound good.
Happens more frequently than you might suppose. It is possible that the...
Do you know whose glass I drank from?
What do you mean?
Captain de Conti.
Did you ask him?
I'm just asking.
Yes, but...
Have you already... Did he look...
He probably wanted...
That...
Ugh. Send my regards to his...
Thanks.
No. That is it for now, then, and later. I'm going to light... Can you tell that to you?
But... Could I at least have the key?
Absolutely not.
But if we have to examine the victim again...
Then the esteemed inspector knows where to find me. In good...
Neither Dr. Gebhardt nor Constable Oliver can... But in I want... An evacuation... And here... That is Legrand's cap.
Come in. Ah, Zellner, are you ready?
Good morning, Inspector Legrand.
Chloral hydrate.
Hmm?
That's why you have a headache. I found traces of it.
What have you found out so far?
The Baroness was shot in the chest at the murderer.
But why?
Exactly. Especially since...
Did you find the murder weapon?
On the gangway on the side of the ship.
And since he does... Not a... What?
A pistol. A Luger manufactured...
With fingerprints?
Nothing. But it's worth mentioning. But actually, I've been waiting far too long. Pay the...
Here it is.
Excellent. Give it to me. As I suspected.
Don't you...
When we already searched it. Yeah, here, take this with...
Thanks.
But
do you believe
he is a trap? Who I find out.
You...
Our friend would have... At least...
What the... Surprise.
But...
Are you sure that there's no bomb inside?
Professor...
Let's... Or do you think...
But... Enough.
I'll be on...
Good
Inspector Legrand? Maybe you should...
I can sleep once. Goodbye.
Be see... Legrand is... I'm not pay... It's rather... No, I've slept enough. An alarm...
Come in. Constable?
About the tranquilizer.
Do you know how you wound up with the glass?
Not yet.
Then you should stop wasting my...
I'll be in touch.
Very well.
This is the first move. The door frame was damaged when Dr. Gebhardt... The real question is... The most A portable bar must be in the Baronet. An impressive... There should be a ventilation shaft. Usually... I can't say why, but something... The notepad has the ship's emblem on it, I suppose. It says, Inspector, be in the saloon at 10 p.m. There is a murderer on board and I will expose him. B. The Baroness seems to have known the murderer, and that means that the Raven can't be the murderer. He never killed anybody. Legrand probably never got the message, otherwise he'd have said something.